C+ for messaging, and how can he change that? We asked him about that. Well, here to weigh in on that is the former Speaker
of the House. Hello, Newt Gingrich.
Good to be with you guys.
So you were watching the interview earlier today?
I did. I thought it was tremendous.
And his C+ surprised us that he didn't give himself an A+ for messaging.
Well, it surprised me, but also pleased me because I thought it was accurate. I mean, I've watched him in the first few weeks really begin to grow into the job. And I thought this interview was as good as he's been, partly because he's pretty humble. I mean, this is not a guy who gives himself a C very easily.
Right.
And I suspect it bothers him. And I'm glad he didn't blame anybody else. I mean, he's the guy, because of the power of his voice and his tweets and everything else, he's got to think through how he's going to message, because nobody else can do it for him. You can't surround Donald Trump and get him to do things.
Yeah. They're trying to create this whole thing with Russia. Should there be a special investigator? And should Devin Nunes is right, or is Adam Schiff right? Back and forth. He doesn't even acknowledge. He said there's nothing with Russia. How does he get control of the media message again?
On that particular topic, they ought to take a lesson from the past, from Ronald Reagan and others. Find a very smart, independent person, maybe somebody like Michael Mukasey, the former Attorney General. Put them in charge of the whole project and say, you know, there are questions here, the country has questions, the media has questions, even members of Congress have questions. You better have one person who coordinates the administration on that topic, because it's the kind of thing that can grow, and it looks early on like it's not a big deal, and then one morning it's a big deal, and now it's really expensive to deal with. The earlier they have a central person directing their efforts, the less problem it'll be, the faster it'll go away.
So, yeah, but isn't that playing into the Democrats' hands, because they're trying to gin this up into something big?
But no, you don't need to have somebody out there on television. You better have somebody inside who pulls everything together and who thinks in advance. What are the next questions going to be? How do we smother them?
Yeah, work for the White House to get the message out.
I mean, you want to get ahead of the curve.
Right.
Okay.
So
all right, what about tonight? What can we expect tonight from the speech, and what would be your advice to him if he's watching?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be a very visionary speech. It's going to be a very positive speech. I think to a degree people don't yet appreciate he's really thought about this stuff. I mean, he has a general direction he wants the country to go in. He was very good with you guys talking about the importance of economic growth. And I think he understands that he is he was the candidate of jobs and growth and take-home pay. And now he's got to deliver. And I think tonight he's going to lay out a pretty sophisticated strategy for getting the job done.
Not many people think he's reached out effectively to Democrats. We've seen the photo ops. We know he likes Joe Manchin and Joe Donnelly and some of the moderates. What would you do, if anything, to reach out to the other side?
I'd reach out to Joe Manchin and Donnelly, and I mean,
what he's doing.
He's not going to get anything out of Nancy Pelosi, ever.
Schumer.
He may get something out of Schumer eventually. Remember, Schumer is enormously cross-pressured by his left. I mean, if Schumer started saying, you know, I've known Trump for years, we can get along well, we can cut a deal, build some infrastructure, his left will kill him. And so the Democrats are trapped right now in a downward spiral of just being negative and hostile.
I actually talked to Chuck Schumer real briefly yesterday. He was on the airplane when we came down. I said, what do you want to hear your friend from New York say tomorrow night? And he said, something real, not just words, something big, like maybe infrastructure.
That's right.
Naturally. All right. Newt, thank you very much.
Great to be with you guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Next up on the rundown, Fox and Friends live from D.C. What happens when we get a personal tour of the White House?